right, so we have two psychologists. They're very well known in the field of psychology. Anupam, the two guests that we have is Natasha Fernandez and Michelle DeMello. Do you want me
Yes,
to introduce them?
yes. So in
We
fact, I will tell more about Natasha Fernandez.
Sure.
Natasha Fernandez is a clinical psychologist. She is a dynamic mentor, a facilitator of consciousness. She has more than a decade of experience in therapeutic medical interventions by bringing emotional healing, and helps in releasing traumas and unhealthy emotions which are locked in the cellular memories of the bodies, and she also works for people, coaching them for life, for business, and for living.
And we have Michelle DeMello with us, who is a social psychologist, a psychotherapist, and a behaviorist. Michelle has got more than a decade of experience in child counseling, marital counseling, academic counseling, especially with children who are diagnosed with dyslexia, ADHD, ADD, autism, and Down syndrome. Michelle's been helping kids and teens get back to the mainstream of academic and behavioral coaching. Let's
Yes.
welcome both of
So
them.
without any delay, let's welcome both of them together. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Natasha.
Hi, Michelle. Hi,
Hi.
Natasha.
Thank you so
Hi.
much.
Welcome to Sukoon Screen Side Chat. It's a pleasure to have both of you together here.
Yes.
And just for your information, this is the first time on Screen Side Chat that we have got two people together on this screen. So we are also very excited that this will be a very interesting episode, since we all will be discussing the topics together.
Yes.
Even we are
Yes.
equally excited for the same.
Yes. So without any further delay, let me just jump in the conversation. If you can both tell us about You Universe, which is your firm, which you both have nurtured together. So if you can tell about how it became a firm together, and where did you start?
Okay, so I'll go first. So
Yes.
when we speak about universe, we both were, it's like we have been connected since childhood in some or the other way. And at that time, we never even imagined that today we are going to sit together and we are going to talk about universe. But then, yes, there was some similarity, some connections. We went two different ways in our academics, in our education. And then how you say the universe conspired everything. In 2012, we came again together. And there was something like Michelle always has worked with children. I have worked with adult and the medical issues. But there was something which we felt that, this needs to be in a synergy, where what she has to offer and what I have to offer can be a platform, for a holistic platform for the entire family and society. So the seeds that we were sowing in universe were of consciousness, of facilitating and bringing in consciousness with people in all areas, whether you have a mental illness or a physical illness, in all areas. And that's how even the name, it's like we were then searching about the name, what should we name our whatever we have birthed. So then we came up with universe, and then we put a U ahead of it, and then it felt so perfect and so apt that you are a part of our universe.
Absolutely. I think that's such a lovely name. It kind of connects everybody, because everybody is out there sending messages into the universe and talking to the universe to get manifest everything.
Okay, so I'll go with the same. I mean, most of it is the same, except for the one thing that I would like to share was that when I was working, even when I was in, studying, there was a vision that I would keep getting, that there is going to be another person who's going to work with you. And I just asked the universe, that inner voice within you which tells you that there is somebody who's going to come. Who is that person? I really don't know, but I could always see that we were two people. And I just asked the universe, okay, you take care of that. I don't know. I don't know who that second person is, but that knowingness, the inner guidance, the inner voice just kept telling me that just go on your journey. And that's how even in my life, I have not actually, picked something or done something because I wanted to do. It just happened. So I just trusted the process, and Natasha came along, and then we went together, and that's how actually universe was birthed.
That's such a lovely story. Lovely background. So, if I can ask you something, off late, a lot of people, in fact, everyone's been talking about mental health. It's become such a hot topic of discussion, mental health.
Yes.
In your definition, what is your definition of mental health, if I can ask both of you? And what are the parameters to measure mental health? Are there any parameters? If yes, what are the parameters?
Okay, so mental health actually, even in these days, though it's become a household name now, but still it's a very, very simple concept. Like how we have physical health and we have some parameters where we measure, with our basic vitals. The same way, even mental health has few basic vitals. First, a very simple definition of mental health is that anything that involves your emotions, anything that involves your psychological and physiological thinking, and anything that involves the stress levels that you deal with is a very, very basic layman term on mental health. So if any of these are, not in the parameter, like for example, if somebody is getting easily stressed, or someone, it's like, okay, so I'll put it in a very simple way, that if your daily functioning has been affected by some way, it's like if you're not getting sleep, or if you're sleeping too much, or if you have a loss of appetite, or if you are too stressed, thinking so much that you have unexplainable aches and pains, that could also be a sign of disturbed mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to mental health, as Natasha said, we give a lot of importance to physical health. Like, right from parents, when they nurture kids, they talk about giving healthy food to them. Ye khana dena chahiye. We should give them this, we should give them that, so that, they will be healthy, they will be strong. Similarly, it's very unfortunate, but that mental, the inputs that have to be given in that sense, that is even from the basic sense of awareness of emotions, is missing. So when there is awareness of emotions, along with, so it's thoughts, and then comes the emotions, and then finally the behavior, a combination of that, when there is a balance in that, that is what mental health is.
Okay, so I will ask a very layman question here, because you are obviously, whatever you're talking about is very interesting. But for a layman, someone like me who wants to know that what is the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Like, if you can define these two terms in a very simple way so that we can understand.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so a psychiatrist is a medical doctor. Okay. They can prescribe medications if there is, and generally, when there is a severity in emotions. So if you must have heard of now the terminology that I'm going to speak about, schizophrenia or bipolar, or somewhere where they are not able to cope with this. So the person who is suffering, not able to cope with his daily activities, not able to work, not able to focus, depression. So those things, when they become extremely severe, such that they cannot even talk about it, that is when we would generally refer them to a psychiatrist first to medicate them and get them into balance. And generally, if you have your everyday coping issues and your stressors which you're not able to cope with, and you're facing a difficulty, that is when you would first visit a psychologist. Now, there are times when they combine together and work as a team as well. So that also happens.
Okay.
Natasha,
So
you
we
can
have
add
a-
something to that.
No, I think you've covered the definition part of it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of comments coming in. Sushma is here, Ankit is here, Ankit Sangvi is here, Veronica is here, and we have some questions also. My mom is here. She's saying hello, Anupam. Hello, mom. So Sushma is asking, do children also exhibit same signs as in fatigue, body ache, etc.? Like in the earlier question you were mentioning.
Yeah.
So what happens? Okay, you can go, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens with children is generally they will complain of stomach pain. They would complain of tiredness. They would complain, cook up stories. If there is something that they're experiencing, they would be on the phone maybe for a long time, and the parents would not even know why they're doing that.
Yeah.
So that could be some of the signs.
Okay. Okay, we have a lot of people
That's a very
coming
good
in.
question
Yeah,
here, because I think a lot
yeah,
of mothers, as parents, I'm a mother as well. As parents, we really don't understand, where this thing is coming from. For us, it is very natural for the kids to be on the phone, or just maybe fake tiredness, because we think that they do not want to study, or they do not want to go about the regular activities. But I think that's a
yeah,
very good insight. I think we should, as parents, we should be more aware of the
yeah.
changes that the children, the behavioral changes in the children.
Yeah,
Nice.
and thank you. Meanwhile, everyone who is joining us right now, we have Priyanka, we have Ashwini, we have Paleja, Brinda, we have Ratna, Richard. Thank you, all of you, for joining in. And since we have two very important and very technical guests, I will say that this is the right time for you all to ask questions. And
Yes.
I'm keeping an eye on all the comments before we start with our regular questioning. So, also one very important question which I wanted to ask both Michelle and Natasha, that there is a taboo when it comes to mental health. Like, people are
Yeah.
not open about. They feel like, going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist only when you get insane, in a language. That it's not something which normally people. So there is again like a little taboo associated. Do you think, what is your take on that? I wanted to know from your side, like, how do you take this?
Okay, so even when we were studying psychology or when we were getting into the profession, there would be very very less number of students who has opted for MA psychology, any stream of MA psychology,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
go ahead and become psychologists, because most of them, what they used to do, they divert and they go and become either HRs or some managers,
yeah,
some
yeah,
training. So
yeah,
this taboo, I would like, even I was kind of, I used to think about it many times, that what is a taboo,
yeah.
because even on social media we see that there's a taboo,
Yes,
end up the
yes,
stigma, these are the words.
yeah,
But these very
Yes.
words, it's like, according to me, these very words are aggravating the situation. Now mental
okay,
health, as both of us have defined in different ways,
yeah,
it is just as much as your physical health. So what you need to
yeah,
do, you just need to know and acknowledge that, okay, I have a stressor which I am not
yeah,
able to handle. So who can
yeah,
I see for that? Now, for
yeah,
example, if you have a ache and pain, or if somebody has a fracture, you will not sit at home and try to sort it, talk to friends, how should I
yeah,
do this,
yeah,
what should I do.
Right.
So the
yeah,
same way, if we keep it very simple,
yeah,
insanity, even if when we say, like as you said, Anupam, that is very
yeah,
right,
yeah.
because
Very right. Yeah,
as
that's how
yeah,
people
because that
feel.
happens that
Yeah.
even when they say that, do you want to see a psychologist, or when our friends, like now our friends are very open to come and
Yeah,
talk to us, even as counselors, and to refer people
yeah,
who are even stressed, who have basic issues, not
yeah,
mental illness. So they
yeah,
first need to know the difference between what is a mental illness and what is a disturbed state of mental health. A disturbed
Right.
state of mental health could be as good as a common cold and cough. But
yeah,
a mental illness is something that needs attention, which Michelle said about the psychiatric and the psychologist. The interventions are required.
yeah,
Otherwise, anyone, like what our vision is, that it should be such that anyone should be able to approach any psychologist or any counselor as much
yeah,
as you talk to a friend. And the
yeah,
only thing that is missing to erase the taboo is awareness. It's
yeah.
like a scary thing that, how you say in Hindi, depression ho gaya isko, या इसको
Uh,
bipolar हो गया,
yeah,
schizophrenia हो गया. So there's a lot of
yeah,
drama attached to it, but as a
yeah,
society
Absolutely. I
who
think
has
you used the
created,
right word, Natasha. There's a lot of drama. People are not acknowledging it. People are not accepting it. So there needs to be
yeah,
acceptance when it comes to mental health.
Also, in the comments, since Sushma had put up that question related to how a parent can identify the sign, he's also asking that once we, so what when we can do if they are exhibiting signs? Like, what are the initial step
Yeah.
involved with the kids when you feel that your kids they have started showing those signs?
Okay, so observe if whatever regular activities that they're doing, like for
Yeah,
example their studies, or
yeah,
whether their eating habits, are
yeah,
they continuing to do it the same way? So are they eating healthy food, and is there any weight loss or any those kind of issues? Okay,
yeah,
are they studying, or are they showing lack of interest? They don't want to write, they want to avoid studies. If they're
yeah.
showing those signs, then it is time you get in touch with a psychologist. because
Okay.
those are signs. Now we don't know really whether it's a self-esteem issue. It could, because we know now how easily a little child also is exposed to a mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then there is more awareness, because now when I see small videos, we have children of 1.5, and how well they exhibit their emotions. I couldn't imagine myself doing that at all. So the level of awareness has gone to some different spectrum at all.
Yeah.
So it's like these minute signs you will have to observe, whether they're doing their daily things, or is it a hindrance. If it's a hindrance for more than, say, a month, then you will definitely have to get in touch with a psychologist and
So
seek
you
help.
give them that much time, you give them about 20-25 days. If you see repetitive behavior, that's
Yes.
when you know it's the time to,
Yes.
take action. on that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. All right. That's very interesting. So, if I can ask you, Natasha and Michelle, given the current scenario, there's pandemic, which is, I think none of us, or even my grandmother, who's 96, never saw a pandemic, right? So, the thing is, this lockdown, being in the house, working from home, this has brought a lot, this has brought positive thinking to light. People are talking about positive thinking, people are talking about wanting to be positive, manifesting positivity, etc. Is there a process to basically practice positive thinking? If there is a process, if when you counsel people, I'm sure there is a process that you tell them, this is how you kind of start thinking positive. So what is that process?
In fact, this is the question which has been asked on the comments also by Ankit Sangvi, that how much the people's psychology has changed during the pandemic.
Yes.
And that way.
Yeah. So what has happened is, that even if we are, when we started off with the pandemic, everybody was scared. It was a dreadful situation, a very uncertain situation. So that is the first emotion that everybody experienced, including the healthcare professionals, which is all of us, and including any common person. So even for us, changes and how to deal with changes. So that was one thing very common. So the only thing, that kept us together, the only thing that kept us grounded was that, that roots which we had of positive thinking. So now many places, there is a stream which is called as positive psychology. But many people, how they had a opinion that, this is overrated. What is positive thinking? You need to have realistic thinking. So the reality out there was, you don't know whether a person is going to live and die. But the positive thinking part, that we have lived for today, and then there is always tomorrow, and we can live in the present moment. So that's where all these things which were sounding like philosophy before pandemic, they started coming into practice for the rest of the world. And we were so happy, because these are also not only positive thinking but seeds of consciousness, where you're being aware that that gratitude and gratefulness. And another way, if you look at it, naturally our brain is wired to think negative. That is a natural wiring. So whoever is not yet able to practice it completely, you don't have to blame yourself, because if you give a fearful thought and if you give an encouraging thought, anybody's brain will first incline towards the negative, sort it, and then the one who is wired, this is a habit. The one who is wired to more often positive thinking will slowly start shifting to that and say, okay, this is not as bad, and then they cope up. So that has been one strategy, where, okay, you don't have to ignore the negativity, but at the same time, you don't have to dwell in it. You should know when you need to make the shift, and you can do it very easily by just shifting your focus. It's as simple as I talk.
So it's a conscious effort that one needs to take. Consciously, you have to move from that negative thought to a positive thought.
Yes, it is an effort. Yeah.
Right.